Good morning, good morning, good morning. I think, I don't know if we're live yet or not. Wow, that's going to be a lot of delay there. Holy Jesus. Y'all bear with me here. We're doing something a little different this morning. We are in OBS this morning, and my buddy Richie had me set up some things so I can see OBS is going here. I mean, I can't even begin to explain to y'all what I'm looking at. So I see Mr. Thomas is in the chat. Good morning, Thomas. What's going on? Good morning, Uncle Richie. What's going on? I am trying to see what the hell is going on here. Ugh. Gonna be a morning. We're gonna have a little bit of fun today, I tell you that. All right, so it looks like everything's working okay. I'm assuming people can hear me. Richie Hustle's in the building. All right, I guess you guys can hear me. I don't know. I don't know. But let's get over here and start looking at some things this morning. MNQ. Let's figure out what we got to do here. All right. Don't mind this on the side here. This is my Gemini mentor. I'm trying to figure out how much of a lag we have. I need to know how much of a lag we have. I don't know. I don't know. But hey, listen. Anything we talk about here, you see, anything we talk about here is not financial advice. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm doing. Hells no. Anyway, we are at 9:19 a.m. Man, we have not been live in like 2 weeks, and I know some people were looking forward to the Off the Clock podcast last week, and we didn't get to that. Um, uh, Multiple reasons why, none that concern y'all, but we will be live tomorrow night on Off the Clock podcast. We're going to try to get Steve from Rideshare Rodeo back. We might have one or two new faces as well as the whole old gang crew. And we're going to continue to talk about the challenges of YouTube. Um, that seemed to hit a chord. There's so many changes with YouTube right now that people don't know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it. And look, that includes us. We're people that I know are trying a ton of different things to make it all work. When in reality, I think the bottom line might simply be if you're not producing or if you're not uploading bingeable content, you're not a thought. We've been looking at click-through rates and average view percentage. Those numbers, those metrics are going up on individual videos, but the overall view count and the overall exposure to the YouTube, ecosystem viewership is down. So it used to be if you had a 5% or better CTR click-through rate on a video, you were considered to be doing good. I've got 4 videos out there right now with, above 10% click-through rates, but the views are only like 150, 250 views. So that's a whole nother ball game. We're not going to talk about that tonight. We will talk about that tomorrow. Today, we're going to get ready to market opens here at 9:30 a.m. What I look at when I get ready for the markets is I basically look for 3 things to determine what my bias might be for the day. We're going to go over that first. We look at for the midnight open, which would be this white dotted line right here. That's my midnight open. I look for the 8:30 a.m. open, which is this orange dotted line right here. You guys can see that, right? I'll make it bigger. You guys can see midnight open, 8:30 a.m. open, and then VWAP, anchored VWAP of session opening. And there's our anchored VWAP. And what this does for me, I don't care what it does for you, but for me, it helps determine my bias. So if price is above both midnight open, VWAP, and the 8:30 a.m. open, well, we're trending bullish. I consider it a bullish bias to start the day. Now that's on the micro. That's on the little. the little peoples, the little time frames. Because the bigger time frame, we go into the hourly, bigger time frame, right? We're bullish this morning. We can see above the midnight open, above VWAP, two huge green candles with volume, with pre-market volume. That's good, right? But when we look at, we scale out, we can see, right? We're in a bearish trend right now. If we take and do this, peek, and I'm just doing rough lines here. Don't count none of these lines as being accurate. They're not accurate, as Charles Barkley would say, not accurate. But you can see we're in a downtrend, right? So, you know, this line might be serve us some good today, because what we have been getting, we get that initial spike in the pre-market, institutional, some retail, mostly institutional. And then look what happens. Whoop, they sell right off into retail. Again here, big buildup yesterday, overnight, whoop, sold it right down. Look at those wicks, man. Look at those wicks on the hourly, dude. Like, I don't give a shit who you are. This is not a fun market to trade. 163 point wick. Okay, and let's just break that down for a minute. Let's go down to the 15-minute chart on that. And if you're trading MNQ or if you're trading NQ, I stopped trading NQ. But that's a 163 point wick there, right? But look at this. So say you take a trade right here, right? You're like, oh wow, man. Fuck is that calling me? You know, that's a 65 point wick right there. You got a bullish candle. Look at that big old beautiful bullish candle right there. That tells you, oh yeah, the market's up. And then all of a sudden you get this doji, undecided candle. But in that undecided candle, say you jump in the trade right here, right? You're like, oh yeah, we're moving right here. You get whipsawed up and down. Boom. Accounts blown right then and there. It's amazing how this stuff works. So me, like, I'm not afraid to show, you know, where I'm at in my eval. Actually, I'll bring it up here in a minute because I like full transparency. So I'm going to show you guys my eval and where I'm at. Hold on. I got to sign in. Calm down. Relax. Okay. I'm going to show you where I'm at in this eval. And I think I'm doing okay in this eval. This eval is now, we just renewed on Friday. I don't know why it's not signing in here. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. I am not a robot. Doop de doop de doop. There it is. Okay. Let's see. Can I bring this down here? Yeah, I can bring this down here. You guys can see this is an evaluation. So there's no funkiness going on here, right? You see that? You see it says evaluation. So I don't want to hear no bullshit from nobody. But anyway, all right, we started this eval February 11th. Remember the eval, we're supposed to hit a $3,000 profit in order to move from the evaluation into the sim funded account where you start trading for real money. This is, you know, this is the prop firm space, man. Listen, this is what people do. And I could do a whole video on prop firms in general. I think they're good. I think they're worthwhile. Anyway, you can see we're up $583, right? You can see, we'll go back to the start of this eval. I've had no red days on this eval, right? But you can see I haven't traded every day, right? Because the market's been funky, man, for the last month and a half. It's been funky. And then you throw in the Iran conflict and the Strait of Hormuz and oil prices and all of this stuff, plus being at all-time highs and the Fed fighting the administration, the administration fighting Congress, Congress fighting Trump. It's a lot of shit, man. Right? So, but what I've been able to do is, you know, I'm plus. Like you look at a day like this, like $1, I made $1.60 that day. I can tell you what happened that day. Same thing here, $6.70. The market, the trade was good, and I'm going to show you my strategy. The trade was good, but on these days I got into drawdown because it's not that the strategy was bad. The market was just doing one of them whipsaw deals. So I got into drawdown, and as soon as I got back out of drawdown, I immediately moved my stop loss into a break-even position because I would rather break even or make a dollar than be negative. We're trading to manage money. We manage risk. If I haven't learned anything else with trading, it's how to manage risk. You know, there's, and to a fault, manage risk, prioritizing managing risk against trading. Trading involves risk. You're going to lose money, dude. Right? And so for me, I have been prioritizing becoming a mechanical trader and prioritizing my risk management. So a day like today or a day like this only made $1, but it's better to be up $1 than down 100, right? Because you only have a $2,000 loss limit on your evals, and it's going to be the same thing on the sim funded accounts. So it depends on who you trade it. $9, $6, then I get a $50 day, then a $9 day, $128. So you can see, right? If you want to go down into the stats, which these stats don't mean shit. These mean nothing, right? On my winners, I'm averaging $38. Okay. I haven't had any losers yet. I might have one today. You never know. But the point is that what this is showing me, and I purposely started this eval. Mechanical structured trades, 15-minute orb. That's it. Momentum and flow. I use momentum and flow, right? And that usually kicks in after 10 a.m., 10:15 a.m. because the 9:30 to 10 a.m. trend has been established. Anyway, the point is, this month, $43, $73. But you see there are gaps in here. There are days where I just didn't take a trade. I didn't feel comfortable. And then when you go back and you look, we don't need to see this no more. You go back and you look, you go back and you start looking at the days, right? You say, well, Vinny's not trading every day. Oh, no, I'm here every day and I'm watching the market. But some of these days are just tough to trade. Like, I don't have unlimited funds. You guys know me. I drive Uber, right? I do Amazon. We're going to talk about that stuff today, too. Amazon and Uber. We'll get into that a little bit. But I want to explain what we're doing here because at the end of the day, dude, the bottom line is this. And the market just opened, so let's get into the 5-minute chart here. Markets are now opening. Let's see what these candles want to do. At the end of the day, bro, this is a triple-headed monster. I was thinking about this a couple of days ago. And I don't know, it just didn't hit me till a couple of days ago. The people that I associate with on a daily basis, right? I am less than 5 people in my world that I associate with. And those 5 people all have, you know, a few things in common. Number 1, they are trying to level up. They would rather have a positive outlook on life rather than a negative outlook on life. I like people that are trying to find solutions to problems, not people that find problems for solutions. You understand what I'm saying? And the other thing that all these people that I deal with have in common, because I need it too, right? We all need reinforcement. We all need that person that we can lean on and talk to and you know, drive us and motivate us to get the fuck on with our lives. You know, they got 3 different distinct things they're working on to earn their money, to build their legacy, to feed themselves or their families or whatever their deal is. They're not focused on 1 thing or 2 things. It's 3 things or more. As an example, Accounting Tom. Accounting Tom, since I've known the guy, he's never had less than 3 gigs going. 3 gigs. Whether he was in corporate at the time, which you shout out Tom, he just got into corporate, he's doing his thing, amen. He does the delivery thing for one company, then does the delivery thing for another company, and then he does the apps. He was working the apps. You know, sometimes 4 things. We live in that world, y'all. I don't give a shit what anybody says. We live in that world. You cannot sustain yourself or your family on one income. My youngest daughter, bless her heart, we don't talk much. I love her to death, and man, that's my heart. My youngest daughter, she is in her profession. All my kids are in their profession, but she is in her profession. She has no responsibilities to anyone outside of herself, right? She's a hell of an artist. She is a hell of a, far more creative than anything I'll ever do in my life. But while she's in her profession, doing well, decent money, right? She's got 1 or 2 side gigs. She does this thing with the knitting and the yarn, and then she goes to the local flea market swap shops and Etsy and all. Dude, she's no kids, single, right? She has no responsibility here. We take care of what needs to be done here. So she doesn't have the room, the board, and all that bullshit. Although she does take care of her own stuff, like her own food and, you know, whatever else she needs. She has her car payment. She's got some college loans. But the fact that at 25, 26 years old, she's doing her thing, and she needs 2 or 3 streams of income to make it work. That's the modern era, bro. That's where we're at. Like, I know people that have 1 or 2 streams of income and they struggle. 1 stream of income, and not all of us can make $100,000 a year, bro. The shit don't work that way. Not off 1 income. And if you are making $100,000 a year, how much of your life is it taking you to make that income? Because it's easy in the rideshare game, in the gig space game. I watched this guy, how to make $1, gig $1, some shit like that. Look, he looks like a really nice guy, and he's out there hustling his ass off. By the way, Tesla right now is down to 394. SPY is shooting up to 673. What we're waiting on here is we're waiting on the first 15-minute candle, y'all. That's what we're waiting on. Waiting on the first 15-minute candle. Let me put it up. This is how I trade. This is my mechanical trade. 15-minute candle. See this green candle here? We're going to wait for this. Still got another 9 minutes on this candle before we even think about taking the trade. I let the market settle in the first 15 minutes. This is not my strategy. This is a strategy. It's called the 15-minute orb, opening range breakout. Some people do it on the 1 minute. Some people do it on the 5 minute. Some people do it on the 15-minute. And you've even got people that do it on the 30-minute. I didn't create this shit. All I know is I back tested a ton on the orb. And prior to this last 2 weeks, since we've been bombing the hell out of Iran, the orb has been spot on. 9 out of 10 days. Bam, 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 bam. Absolutely works. And you're going to lose money in trading. I mean, listen, you get into this game, you're going to lose money, especially when you learn it. But as a mechanical trade, and what I mean by mechanical is you have a certain set of circumstances. In this case, candle opens 9:30, candle closes 9:45. If we get a candle close above the opening range high, we go long. Stop loss midline. And I'll show you what the midline is. If we get a break below the orb, then we take the short. Stop loss at the midline. And so that's mechanical. That's if this happens, then we do this no matter what. But what, now, being a trader for a while, and at one time I was really good at options. I'm not going to say I'm great at reading price action because I'm not. I suck at all this shit. But the one thing you build experience. It's like driving. You know where to go drive at. You know where your money is, right? The consistent money. There might be a hot spot here, or a hot spot there, but your consistency, your bread and butter as a driver, you know where that money is, right? Would you rather make $50 every day in a couple hours or chase the hot spots and it costs you $50 every day to go make that $50? See, I'll take the consistency. I'm old. Don't hold it against me. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you how it's gonna happen. We don't need this here. We can get rid of that. Right? I want a nice clean chart, except for that overhead resistance. Remember now, this red line, that's the overhead resistance on a trend. Right? It's a big trend. It's a huge trend. Bearish. Bearish. So if we don't break above, bounce off, and go up, then you know we're still bearish. Okay? It's forming flags, baby. Forming flags. Look at it down here. See that purple dotted line? That is the weekly open, which is yesterday. But notice how that did that. Price hit up, rejected. Tried to break through, rejected. Rejected. Finally broke out. Now, this is way back in September of last year. Actually, September 25. Finally broke out. We had the big run. Big run. You guys see this, right? Staying above. Came down, retested. Rejected. Went back up. Came down. Broke through, rejected. Went right back up. Blah, 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 blah. And so we're right down here right now. What is that about? 25.5? 24,500 on the Nasdaq. So something's going to happen here, guys. Something's going to give at this spot. We just don't know when. And when you're trading futures in a prop firm, you're on a daily level. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. Boop. Let's go back to the 15-minute chart. We still got 6 minutes for me to run my mouth. Bullish. Looking bullish, though. Looking bullish. It wants to go. But we got to see what it's going to do here. Anyway. God damn it. What was we talking about? Uncle Tom? Oh, Lord. Accounting Tom. Cousin Tom. What are we talking about here this morning? Consistency. That's what we're talking about. Goddamn consistency. That's what's important. Being consistent. Being consistent. You know? That's the goal. Oh, man. That's the stream health. How come I can't see my cannot see my listen, guys, I got all kinds of shit going on here. I don't even know how to explain it to you. But I got a lot of shit going on here. 9:39 and 51 seconds. No, Tom. Counting Tom, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Oh, what the fuck I meant, but I didn't mean that. Anyway, so the guys that I deal with, they are chasing 3 or more ways of creating their income. And you have to do that because right now my trading isn't making, I haven't made a dime this year trading. Not a dime. Not one penny. Matter of fact, I got caught up. I lost $24 last week on a bullshit crypto because my buddy let me know 3 days too late. Anyway, that's okay. $24 doesn't make or break you. If I'd have put in 2,400 and lost my ass, then I'd have really been pissed off. But the point being is that these guys are attacking it, right? Whether it's through W2. Look at Steven. You guys know Steven, right? Tech and Effects out of LA. He's got a W2. He drives Uber, Lyft, mainly Uber now. And he's working his private, establishing his private car service because out there he's got the TCP, right? And so triple-headed monster out there he's working on, right? Counting Thomas. Thomas has got his corporate gig, and yet still, after he gets off, delivering pizzas, whatever it is. And then on the weekends, he's making a run at delivery and also, Uber Eats and shit like that. So that's his triple-headed monster. Richie hustles, W2, Amazon influencing, and YouTube, triple-headed monster. This guy does more shit on YouTube than anybody I know. That is 100% true. I'm slacking when it comes to that, as far as like being here and being present. I'm slacking. But last week I had a good excuse because last week was all about reestablishing my workflow. So every morning, 9:42, we got what? 3 minutes left before this 15-minute candle closes. This is going to be a wild one, y'all. This is going to be a wild one because we are super extended. We are super extended above VWAP. We are super extended above the midnight open. And we are super extended above the 8:30 open. This might be one of those. And we're coming up on this multi-week trend line. We might not take a trade today. I mean, it's running. Oil price right now is down to 94, 95 bucks, give or take a couple pennies on the futures. Right? Strait of Hormuz. According to what I found out this morning, they're still not, it's still messed up. 20% of the world's oil supply coming through that damn strait. We done bombed the hell out of Iran. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, it's none of my business. I agree with it. Make it happen, Captain. 50 years of that garbage and killing Americans, they got to go, man. Shit, salute Trump making that shit happen, dude. Like, our lives matter too, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Our lives, meaning Americans. Our lives matter. Because I promise you, Iran don't give a shit if you're white, black, pink, purple, male, female, trans this, LB that. You think Iran gives a shit? Yeah. Look no further than New York City right now. You tell me they give a shit about all the different diversities. That guy up there don't give a shit. But I digress. We're not going there. We're not going there. I'm not doing that today. Anyway. Counting time, that's your fault. That tirade, you almost got me. You almost got me, bro. Anyway. So last week was developing the workflow. I get up in the morning, check the news. I had to rebuild all of this in here. You guys don't even know, right? The amount of work that I'm putting into trying to set my workflow where I feel comfortable and I can move from this stream to this stream to this stream. Right now, trading's not doing anything for me, but I'm learning so much. And that's fine. It would be real easy to force myself into taking 500 bucks or $1,000, right? It'd take me a month to get that money to the side and put that into options and now rewire my brain to start trading options again because it ain't the same. Trading options is not the same as trading futures. Time frames are different. Trading stocks versus a futures, an ETF, it's different. Investing, well, all right, so we have established, I got to interrupt myself here. All right, so we have established our opening range. Our opening range is now 112 points is our opening range. So the trade or the strategy calls 56 points at $2 a point on MNQ. If I take a trade, I'm going to put at risk $112. $112 at risk if I take that trade. So we're going to wait and see what happens here. Now we got to move to the 5-minute candle, right? And so now you see the trade normally, but this trend line is going to have me nervous today. What the strategy calls for, if we break and close above the opening range high. So say we break above this, say it ends right here. We take the trade right there. We're just going to use this as an example, right? We take that trade. Here it is. We're risking, we're going to be risking some money there. All right. And we want to go, we want to get a 1-to-1 risk to reward, right? If we were to take a trade right there, we'd be putting $148 at risk to make $148, right? That's how that trade works. No matter what, if it closes above, but here's the caveat for me. We are so far above. This is absolutely bullish. Absolutely bullish. You guys see it's going. And listen, not for nothing. I could have been over here on the 1 minute. All right. And we could have took this trade on the 5-minute opening range as well. But you see that 5-minute candle here? The next 2 candles really didn't do anything. But we would have been in at this point, right? So just, I know I'm a little bit all over the place. So 5-minute range, we would have took the trade here. Stop loss would have been somewhere around in there, right? This would be a good trade. And actually that 2-to-1, if you went for a 2-to-1 on the 5-minute, it'd be okay. It wouldn't be bad. But lately, this has not been the play. It's not been the play. So we might not take a trade today because we are so far extended here. And what happens is price tends to do this. Think of the VWAP, volume weighted average price. That's where the average price of that's the balanced price of the asset. In this case, Nasdaq, right? So that's your midpoint. And then the more price gets away, it creates a rubber band. And what happens with the rubber band once it gets overstretched? It snaps right back. And so if you're pushing forward or pushing up away from this rubber band, all like this, the probabilities of somebody taking the rug and snatching it back are there. As an example, when you see a candle like this, not financial advice, don't listen to me, I don't know shit. But you see that wick? That was sellers pushing it right back down. Here, see this wick? As buyers buying it up. So they were agreeing in price in here, right? So right now, buyers, it's bullish. Buyers have the upper hand. I'm not going to trade this candle. Other people will trade it. And it might run. It might run for the next 28 days. But I will not buy this because we are so close to this downtrend that it's not even funny. It's so close. The positive thing is we are above 25,000, which is good. 25,000 mark has been one hell of a holding spot. It's been one hell of a point of support and resistance. So now, all probabilities, I don't know. This might get up here, break above it, reject, and swing right back down towards VWAP until VWAP is above 25,000. 25,000 is still a major level of contention. We're going to call it contention. Anyway, what do we got here? I got all these different things on. All these different things going on over here. Whew, that's a lot of talking. Jesus Christ, y'all wearing me out. So the workflow has been, I come in, I trade in the morning, right? I start in the morning, get the VIP where she needs to go. I get back home, open up the charts. I shut down all the noise. I shut down YouTube. I shut down the phone. I don't want to hear from nobody about nothing. And I sit here and I trade. All right, we got a fair value gap forming here on the 5. I used to be heavy into the fair value. I was trying to learn. Eddie, man, I was trying to learn ICT and all of that. And you know what? It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying it doesn't work for me. And so I'm mechanical right now. There might be some points where I'll go and I'll look back at it. Okay, here, let me show you something. We just established this, right? So we would be long right here. This is where I'm going to put the trade on 2-to-1. 375. That would be the trade, right? That would be our trade. Why is it not docking? There it is. The rules say take this trade. And if you look over here in the corner on the 1 hour, we are bullish on the 1 hour. But you see the 4 hour is still neutral. So we are going to stay flat because I'm telling you, this trend line is going to hold me back a little bit. If I, right, it's 10x the price. So we're on MNQ and I trade small. I try to stay small as I work my mental game through this strategy. I want to see if it's going to bounce off this orb high. We might get in this trade. We might get in this trade, but not where the mechanics told me to, because that's a 60-point move if it rejects off this orb. 60-point move is $120. It's $120 profit. So we'll see. Let's see what happens here. NQ, which I passed scout, get out 10, 15 points a day, you know, 10 points on an NQ contract is 10 points to 10 to 20 to it's $200. You get 10 points, it's $200. That's nothing. Nasdaq lives on 30, 40 points trading that. But what happens is you get chopped and it's not consistent. So then I'm losing $500 on a day, right? And then I got to hope that I can catch a positive trade to cover my losses and put me positive. So if I show a plus $200 day, but I lost $500 to make that $200, that math don't math, bro. So this is why I've been just establishing the orb, something simple, because even though obviously we trade for money, we do rideshare for money, we do product reviews for money, we do YouTube for money. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. It's all about the money. Right now our season's in. So I don't have that pressure of everything has to come from trading. I want it to come from trading because that would free up more opportunities for YouTube and more opportunities for Amazon. And listen, don't snooze on Amazon, bro. Y'all can love or hate Amazon. You catch the right products and you give a good, honest review on those products, and you catch the right circumstances with those products, you can make good money. You know, but you gotta keep it honest. You gotta keep it real first. People know if you're authentic or not. So here we go now, right? So we just, you see that long wick right there? See that long wick? Buyers bought that right back up. So here would be an opportunity again, right, to take the trade up. But that candle close is below. That's what they call a lower high. Even if it's minor, that little tick in there, it's minor. So let's see. Are we going to get a what they call a what is it, a bull flag here, where maybe we see something like this, right, for a couple of candles, like 2 or 3 candles gets here, and then all of a sudden continuation, or is this the rejection of this overall time frame here? See, or trend line? Is this the rejection? Now this is the daily chart. Is that the rejection there? Because you see on the daily, no close above that trend line, none whatsoever. This is trying to peek out there, but this day's not done yet. So we're going to see. We will establish it. See what happens. Get rid of that. We don't need it. It's just a thought. It's just an idea. Right? Let's see what happens. Oil is still around $94.80. $94.80. That's something else I didn't understand, man. I've been asking Gemini and Grok about that. Dude, it doesn't make sense why our gasoline prices, thank God I drive an EV, but why gasoline prices all of a sudden ran through the roof when only about 20% of the oil for the world goes through the Strait of Hormuz, but only 2% of our oil went through the Strait of Hormuz. Because we got our own shit. We got our own oil. You know, obviously we got the deal with Venezuela now. So we have oil and we have gasoline. So you have to ask yourself, well, what the hell, man? Why is our shit so expensive all of a sudden? Especially since the gasoline they're selling you guys right now is the gasoline that was refined 2 or 3 months ago. Like oil prices 2, 3 months ago was down. So how are you going to raise prices on fuel, on gasoline, for shit you made 2, 3 months ago? Like, it don't make sense to me. You guys look at shit the wrong way, man. It's greed. But I ain't got them problems because I drive a Tesla. But if I did drive a gasoline car, I saw yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I saw gasoline prices, $4.70 in South Florida, in Boca. Well, Boca. Y'all got a Democrat mayor now too. So you see now, Here's the original trade, right? We talked about, I showed you guys. Here's the original trade. Now we're back down here at the high of the opening range breakout. If we were in this trade, we'd be in a ton of drawdown right now. And the main reason why I did not take this trade, whether it's right or wrong, it can still play out and go, because we'd still be in the trade. Absolutely. And that's trading. See how it's rejecting? Buyers are buying it up right there. But look at the candles, bro. Right? High volume green candle. Still high volume green candle. Look at your red candles down there. Oh, you can't see it. My bad, y'all. Let me bring this over. My fat head was in the way there. High volume green candle. Not as high, but high volume green candle. Lower volume bearish candle, high volume green candle, lower bearish and lower bearish. So the bulls are trying, or the bills are trying to hold it up. See what happens. Technically, you really want to get technically, right? And this is why a lot of people trade NQ versus MNQ, because they don't have the patience for this, right? They don't have the patience for this. Some people that trade NQ or MNQ on a daily basis, they're not looking for a 30 or 40 point win, because that's only $50, $60, $70 on one MNQ contract, right? If you get a 30-point win on MNQ, it's a $60 contract, $60 win before commission, so $55 win on one contract. They don't want to see that. They want to see $300, $400, $500 wins, and they don't want to trade just one contract to truly refine their strategies. They want to trade 3 contracts or 5 contracts, because everybody gets in a hurry. They get in a hurry. You can't do that when you're learning to trade. There are no guarantees in trading. None. Just because you can do everything right, everything correct, you call the right strategy to trade, you call the right product to trade, in this case, MNQ. You caught it on a bullish trend in the morning, right? Even though the bearish trend is overall, you didn't bother to look at that, right? You can do everything right. Perfect entry, doesn't matter. In this game, they can rug pull you in a heartbeat. Institutional money far exceeds retail money. And you see what this is doing here, right? Y'all see what it's doing here, right? Beep. Got a little flag here. Let's make that white. Got a little flag here. Got a little flag here. Trying to bounce off the opening range high. See what happens. Tesla's back up to 397. SPY's dropped down to 673. Oil broke 95, 95.20 right now on the futures. So it's interesting to see where price is going right now. If we break below the orb and close below the orb, then I would expect a retrace, right? You see how VWAP now is starting to roll over here? My head is too big. Hold on. Hey, let me make this smaller. There you go. That's better, Goose. That's better, Goose. Right? Starting to see VWAP now plateau around the 830 open. These are all little clues, bro. That's all this is, little clues. So we might not take a trade today. I don't feel confident. But I'm sure somebody out there, or a lot of people out there, have made, $10,000, $15,000 this morning. Trading, 5, 10, 15, 20 contracts at a, or 20 accounts at a time. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I want to learn as much as I can about futures because, and I'm going to be dead straight honest with you. I have to trade the prop firm spaces right now because I don't have the money to fund an account on my own. I'm trying to build up that account. My Tesla stock is untouchable. My NVIDIA stuff is untouchable. And that's just the way that is. So I will fight to, I'll go out here and do rides, suck salt with Uber. I'll enjoy establishing my Amazon stuff. So as an example, if you see behind me, right? You see this shelf behind me here, right? Review product, review product, review product, review product, review product, review product, review product. I got products to review, right? And make those videos. And I do it all right here at the desk. I got an overhead cam arm set up right now. I've got an external cam arm where I can set up. I've got plenty of space to work in now. And then what I do is after 11 a.m., this gets shut off. Whether I make money, lose money, don't make a trade, it doesn't matter. This is time well spent. This is tuition. That's what they call this in the prop firm space. They call it tuition. You go to college for 2 years, you got to pay tuition. You go to college for 4 years, you got to pay tuition. You go to a trade school to learn how to be a plumber, a carpenter, a mechanic, you got to pay tuition. You got to pay tuition. You get a union job, you're an apprentice for 2 to 4 years. You got to pay tuition. You feel what I'm saying? And so what I'm doing right now is paying tuition. This tuition is less financial and more time, which I feel your time is more valuable, but I digress. But it's tuition. It's tuition. And so if you don't pay this tuition, you can't learn. And again, you could be the best trader, best mathematician. You could be the best poker player in the world. You're only going to be right half the time. Anyway, they were still waiting, still waiting. Now, remember, if we were in this trade here, we'd still be in the trade because there's our stop loss would have been right here. And I believe the trade was $186 stop loss. I'm not feeling this bull move. Yes, I could have. I could have took the chance on this 5-minute candle. Yes, I could have, but look at that wick, bro. You don't think a shit ton of people got stopped out in that 109 point move this morning? They saw it. They took the trade. They were like, oh, yeah. Bam. Whipsawed right out of that trade. Lost their money. And then they're screaming. They're crying. They're screaming. You know why? Because, oh, it went exactly where I thought it was going to go. I had my stop too tight. You trading that? You trading futures, you're going to have tight stops. Because at the end of the day, you got to preserve capital. You got to preserve your money. You got to protect it. So I'm only up $538 on this eval. Okay. I haven't given the market $1 during this eval space. Whether it's the eval market or the actual Nasdaq, True Mark, CME market, it doesn't matter. I haven't given them $1 because I've been disciplined. Take advantage when you can, and then survive when you can't. That's the game plan. That's my game plan. That's my game plan. Vinny Kuzz channel has been empty. No, there's a reason why I haven't been posting videos to that channel, to this channel, because I'm trying to reset the algorithm for YouTube. But we'll talk about that tomorrow night. Make sure you show up. Off the Clock podcast. We're going to continue the conversation we had 2 weeks ago about YouTube. But I'm resetting the algorithm on this channel, because this channel was established for Rideshare. My thing now is trying to move people or to help people, to show people that you don't have to be stuck in any one occupation. Doesn't matter what it is. Rideshare, fucking mailroom, construction worker, whatever it is. All good money jobs. None of them secure, but all good money. Say, well, Vinny, construction worker, they make damn good money. Yeah, as long as they got something to build. But when the money dries up, like it did in 2006, 2007, 2008, construction workers out of work too. Now they're begging to get on, right? Good, skilled carpenters, good, skilled masons, good, skilled glaziers. And if they're not working, then that means trucks ain't moving. And good, skilled owner-operators on semis and dump trucks and flatbeds, they're not working. If the construction worker ain't working, the trucks ain't moving. If the trucks ain't moving, the boats ain't moving. Well, Vinny, what are you talking about boats? I'm talking about the boats that come into the port, the longshoremen, the dock workers. If the boats ain't coming in because they got nothing to bring in, or there's no demand for anything that they can bring in, now the longshoremen ain't working. You see how all this shit is relative? And so if you depend on one single stream of income, i.e., what I built this channel on was always trying to help drivers work smarter, not harder. You know, and yeah, there are plenty of drivers that make shit tons of money. But at what price? The price of their health? Y'all know truck drivers got short lifespans, right? Truck drivers got short lifespans. Two main reasons. One is the emotional, and two is the physical. The emotional part is they're lonely as fuck. Other than that CB radio, breaker 19, this rubber duck coming in. Other than that, and the occasional paid friendship, whether it be in the lizard lots or, you know, Vegas or wherever, right? What do most truck drivers have? They're lonely as shit. Even the married ones with kids, they're constantly on the road 2-3 weeks at a time, trying to make the money to support the family. And what are they doing the whole time when they're on the road? They're sitting on their ass. Bad circulation. If you are a driver for any extended period of time, you're going to gain weight. Well, the majority of drivers are going to gain weight. Your circulation is going to slow down. You're going to have a ton of problems. So while it might be cool and fashionable and good for YouTube and this, that, and the other, gig work or sitting on your ass for a living, you know, it's got its issues, man. It's got its drawbacks. And not a lot of people are motivated enough to take their ass out and go walk. We have a walking group that none of us have posted to in a while, but I tell you what, we're getting our walks in. All right, back here at the trade, you see now we're breaking the morning trend line here. Let's see if this trend line here for the morning is going to hold up. See if that trend line is going to hold up. I don't know if it's going to hold up. We're going to find out. It might not. I don't know. But this is why we didn't take the trade, because remember, we would have been sitting in drawdown from way up here, according to the 15-minute orb. We'd be in drawdown right now. So right now we would be approximately $100 in the hole right now. Yeah, $100 in the hole in drawdown. So if we take the loss right here, and see, this is where traders, i.e. me, start getting nervous. They start getting nervous because they're getting closer and closer to this stop loss. And mentally, you don't want to take that loss. That's some emotional shit. That's like somebody taking your girlfriend or your boyfriend. And you're like, all right, when I set the trade, it's like, oh, well, if they come and get her, they can have her, blah, 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 blah. But now as you're getting closer and closer to that moment, then it's like, oh, shit, I don't want to lose my girlfriend. In this case, the girlfriend is the money. You don't want to lose the money. You don't want to lose the girlfriend. You don't want to lose that punana. You understand what I'm saying? And this is real. This is where the emotion kicks in. And this is why people gravitate to stuff like rideshare and gig work, even though it's the same freaking philosophy. It's the same philosophy. You see that? You see, this is why we did not take the trade. How many traders just got their asses handed to them? Remember, in trading, it takes two people to tango, baby, two to dance. One's selling the contract, one's buying the contract. The only thing they're negotiating is the price at which they're going to commit the transaction. That's it. So now, if we didn't do our due diligence and look at the higher time frames, this trend line right here absolutely slammed it back down for now. We'd have got in here mechanically, even though it was showing us the wicks. Showing us the wicks, buyers buying it up, buyers buying it up. Showed us a wick, buyers buying it up. Whoop, we got to that opening range break. Sellers selling it down, sellers selling it down. You see, these are the things that you learn, or things that I've learned with trading. This is another reason why I'm on the 5-minute chart, because during this heavy chop uncertainty, I wanted to cut the noise out. That's why I'm not trading the 1-minute charts. I'm not trading the 1, the 2, the 3. Screw all that. I'm on a 5-minute chart. If that means I just sat here for What have we been on? We've been on stream now for about an hour. We've been trading for roughly 53 minutes or 43 minutes. No, my math is fucked up. 43 minutes we've been trading, or the market's been open 43 minutes. They haven't taken a trade. Some people have made a fortune. Some people are up 10,000, 20,000. Some people are up $100, $200. But you know what? We're not down 100. We're not down 120 because right now, like I said, you're trying to take my girlfriend. I'd be down $140 right now trying to take my girlfriend. Can't do it. No, sir. They're not going to take my girlfriend today. Not going to take her. Nope. Not me. No, sir. So you live, you learn. A year ago, I would have jumped all over that trade in the beginning and probably would have got stopped out. And then I would have chased it for a revenge trade and got stopped out. It's not worth it. Not worth it. So now we're approaching. I want to show you guys something. This is why some indicators are really good to have. And they don't show you where to trade or how to trade. But this yellow line, previous day high. Okay? And London high. We're going to go previous day high, London high, and then our midline on the orb right there. So we broke that. That's gone. So that did not turn out to be a bull flag on the short term. But now let's see how it reacts to yesterday's previous day high. See what happens here. Anyway, I've been running my mouth a lot. If you're still with me, I appreciate y'all still hanging in there with me. I know I can be long and strong in the conversation. Today I've got some tire inflator caps I bought for my Tesla. I'm going to put those on today, do a quick review on that. That's just because I think they're cool. There's not a lot of money involved in that, but that's just because I think it's cool. Now, we would have stopped out our loss here. I got to show you guys this. So you see, it just broke. So this trade, if we'd have been in this trade, we'd have been out. We'd have been lost. All because, and I know there's a lot of people that lost their ass on this trade. All because they didn't look at the overhead resistance. Didn't do their due diligence. Now, there are some people that will say, well, Vinny, you went to the midline and you should have went to the low of the opening range, right? I know people that do this too, right? So let's set it down to the previous low. This is low a day, right? The bottom wick. Okay. We'll leave it there too. But now what I want to show you with that is, and this is where discipline comes in. Now, if this retraces fully retraces, that's a 150.5 point move. That is a $301 loss. How many people couldn't even stand the $180 loss? They're already shitting their pants, pissing in their pants. Upset. Because they didn't bother to look for the overhead resistance, the higher time frame. They followed some idiot on YouTube. Not me, because I ain't telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I do. They'd have been sitting here, they'd have got wicked out, broke below, wicked out. This could very well possibly bounce right off here. Because the market knows, institutions know, because this 15-minute orb has been such a hot topic on YouTube for retail traders. You know, everybody wants a silver bullet. They want that silver bullet. Vinny, give me the guaranteed secret sauce, man. What's this guaranteed secret sauce? There is no guaranteed secret sauce. But people will get emotionally involved in YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is with these damn people. And they're like, oh yeah, I made thousands. Watch, this is how I did it, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, they ain't making shit in the market. You know what they're doing? They're selling you links, codes, courses. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Listen, I don't knock nobody's hustle. I should have, listen, my good friend Eddie had a course, $5 ebook. Tons of drivers bought that book and tons of drivers made money. That's cool. I'm good with that. Accounting Tom's going to have a budget book out soon. Right? Be $5. That's good. That's reasonable. Right? And people will learn from that. But for the most part, they show you the winners, supposed winners. They never show you the losers. They don't sit here and break it down, because most people on YouTube, when they trade, and I used to watch them all, most people on YouTube, when they trade, they feel like they have to take a trade. Says who? Who says you have to take the trade? If the market is not meeting whatever you think it needs to meet, your specifications, your standards, your strategy, don't take the fucking trade. When you go out to do Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart, whatever, you know where to go. Listen, there's not a driver worth their salt doesn't know where to go to make the money, right? And if it's not giving it to you at that time, you got one of two choices. You can either, well, actually, you got three choices. You can continue to sit there and waste your time. That's dumb, right? Two, you go to whatever your plan B is, right, for driving or food delivery or whatever. So maybe you're used to sitting at a Costco or a Walmart on Spark or doing Amazon shifts or whatever. Well, if there ain't nothing there, now you got to go to your backup. Oh, well, maybe I'll do some Instacart. Or maybe I'll do Uber Eats. Let's put it that way. So you got your big delivery, right? Costco, Walmart, grocery stores. None of those are working. Now you open up Uber Eats and DoorDash, and then you go to B. And if that ain't working, go the fuck home. Do something else. And this is why you've got to have, the triple-headed threat, the three-headed snake, man. You got to have it. Interesting what we're seeing right here. Remember what I just said about people just got stopped out right here? See that wick? See that wick? It came right in there and wicked that out. All those people that were here, right? Let me put that back to the original setup. All those people that were right there just got stop loss. Their stops just got taken out. Stops just got taken out. Now, I can show you something else. I'll show it to you. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just going to show it to you. All right? See, that's not the way I want it. I want it to go down here. From the high of day to the low opening range, right? There's a whole nother thing in here. Let me clear some of this shit out. Bink. Bink. Just a straight fib level. Right? So we established low a day, high a day. Price just retraced 78.6%. The 61 to 78, that's the golden pocket, y'all. Price likes to retrace in there. This is Fibonacci. The most consistent thing in the universe is the Fibonacci. So you use the retrace tool, and we just came all the way there. Now we just work back up. Are we going to break this bear flag now? Is this the move up? Or is it going to get there? Because obviously, this has been holding price down. Price has been getting there and getting sold right back down. But there was a trade here. Big long wick. Stopped all those people out. All those shorties or all those long folks just got stopped out. They just lost their accounts. Bye-bye accounts. Yeah, okay, we're going good there. I know it's telling me there's an error here right now. I'm trying to figure out what this error is. Hold on. Nope. Nope. Yep, that one there. Okay. Such viewers experiencing buffering. I don't know why that is. I got plenty of gig bandwidth here, buddy. Anyway, so we're going to see what happens here. The fib retracement just showed you, came all the way down, bounced back up. But now we're heading into another overhead resistance. But you could have took a trade here, right? You could have took this trade here off the rejection back up to here. It's 50 points. This is what I mean by Nasdaq. 50-point move is it's a $100 winner on the MNQ. You could have. So anyway, that trade's bogus. This is done. Right? That trend line is holding. Putting back up our orb just so we know where we're at. And our opens. Our weekly opens. There it is. See what happens. And folks, that is what I got. We got about another 8 minutes. We're going to shut this down at 10:30 because I'm running out of shit to talk about. No, I'm joking. I wish I could have took a trade for you today, but I'm not in the business of losing money. I'm in the business to try to make money. I don't want to guess. I mean, I deal in probabilities. I don't want to guess at it. Could you have made money here? Yeah, you made. There are plenty of people made money going up and coming back down. Absolutely. But you break this down into a 1 minute chart. Right now we're on the 1 minute time frame where most traders trade, most day traders trade. And look at this. Look at this opening wick. Remember what I talked about? Look at this opening wick here. Big ass doji. Tons of buyers, tons of sellers. Pretty much where it opened up, it closed on the 1 minute candle. Then it shot up. Then the chop. Then it broke out. Then the chop as it's melting down. Chop. This red candle, you're like, oh yeah, baby, let's go. Whoop. And then whoop, buyers brought it right back up, and here we go again. Trading is hard, man. Don't let nobody tell you any different. Trading is hard. This shit is not easy, bro. It's not easy. Look at the overnight. Right? Big move up. Now, this would be considered a bull flag. Here's the pole. Right? Here's the flag. It came down, hit this 25. Remember I mentioned earlier in the stream about 25,000 flipping support resistance. This has been a point of contention. Came all the way back down, hit 25,000. Now it's trying to get back up there, but the downtrend, that short-term downtrend is holding it. It's holding it. We need it to close above, and it didn't. It closed below. So would you take that trade? Let me know in the comments. Would you take that trade knowing this candle closed below the downward pressure short-term trend line? If anything, I'll be looking for a trade somewhere around in here. Matter of fact, maybe I'll stay on for this one. Let me see. We'll be looking for a trade one way or the other around in here. Why do I say that? Because the 25,000 support resistance contention line is right there. Short-term downward pressure right here. Long-term downward pressure right here. So if the move is for real, somewhere in this circle, it's going to get there and fire off. Continue the expansion. Or if we break below 25,000, come down, retest, and keep going, there's your trade. But how many people have the patience for that? Hell, I don't even know if I have the patience for that. So this is what we're looking for. Here, 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 and then see ya. Wouldn't want to be you. We don't know. Right? We don't know. Could flip this up here too. Could come up like that. Then get here. And get up. Let's do this again. So many ways this market moves, man. So we'll go here, 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 and then bring, actually, no, that would be like down here somewhere. Somewhere around in here. Let's leave it in there and see what happens. See what happens. Oh, I haven't even been looking at my chat. Counting Tom, I'm here, so I appreciate you. Commuter Brand, hey, Patty! Greetings on St. Patrick's Day from Ireland. Good to see you are still fighting the good fight. Hey, man, somebody's got to fight. You know, Mama said I was going to be a troublemaker all my life. And Mom, I appreciate you. She told me I should have been an attorney. She said, oh, my son's going to be an attorney. Yeah, we didn't have attorney money to go to college. It is St. Patty's Day, isn't it? You rideshare drivers better be careful out there. There's going to be some drunk people. There'll be some drunk people tonight. Oof. I ain't even trying to hear all that drunk shit tonight. Nope. Not at all. Not me. No, sir. Here in South Florida, if you're a driver here in South Florida, you're getting a taste of what's coming, right? We're on spring break down here, so all the schools are closed. So what normally on a Monday is $120 to $150 a day, yesterday was like $80. And I went 6 for 6, didn't turn down any rides, all Premier rides. I still don't have on Comfort. I still don't have on X or Shared or any of that shit. See what it's going to do here. This is interesting. See what it's going to do here. It'll be an interesting spot. But tonight, today with school being out, Tuesdays are usually pretty slow. Wednesdays are even slower, unless you get lucky, get a couple of good rides in there. But this is what it's going to be like in like 3 months for us down here in South Florida when our season's over. Season ends end of April, beginning of May. All the Canadians and the Northerners go back north. So all that traffic goes away, but also all those rides go away. School lets out. Colleges let FAU, Lynn, FIU, UM, all the colleges, Nova, they all let out. So all those rides go away. And then you're left with, now your saturation becomes an issue. Too many drivers, not enough demand, too much supply. So rates drop. Happens clockwork every year. So right now, you're getting a taste of what that is if you're in the South Florida market. It's coming, yo. And this is why you have to establish. This is why, during the season, there's two trends of thought here. During the season, you want to try to make as much money. When I was in the, let me back that up even more. When I was in the trade show industry, 21 years, right? When I was in the trade show industry, it was always a feast or famine type of deal. And even though it was a union job, a damn good union job, damn good money, never had a strike, none of that bullshit. It was always feast or famine. Not so different from the gig work today. Because you do one job, one show, and then you move on to the next, and then you move on to the next. But it's not a 9 to 5. It was never a 9 to 5, dude. My average workday was about 12 hours. For 21 years, I averaged 12-hour workdays. So when I see these guys on YouTube with the gig work, oh, I'm putting in 12 hours today. Bro, y'all don't know what a 12-hour day is. Sitting on your ass driving around ain't a 12-hour day. But I digress. It was still gig work, and it was feast or famine. So the trade show industry in South Florida is generally end of September to end of April. That's the trade show season down here in South Florida. It coincides with the winter season in South Florida. It's not a coincidence. People come down here to escape the cold, get on the beach, because we don't make shit here in South Florida. The beach is already made. So there's that. We don't manufacture nothing down here except fake titties, fake ass, and fake egos. That's what we manufacture in Southeast Florida. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. That's what we manufacture. Fake lives. And so you used to put in all these hours, and then in the summer we'd train. I was an instructor too, right? And so, I stayed busy, but a lot of guys didn't stay busy. So they would say, make all the money you can right now because, in the summer you need to squirrel it away. It's the same thing in the gig work, right? But if that's all you're doing in season and you're not working on nothing else, you're not putting into, see, I've been a sucker for that trap, right? When I closed down my last pro shop 5 years ago, right? Well, before COVID, I closed down that last store because the business just wasn't there. And thank God I got out of it when I did, because then COVID hit, right? And bowling really got punched in the face then. But when I closed down that last store, I was Ubering full time, man. And during COVID, you could make damn good money. They was giving you do 4 rides, make $100 extra. Not guaranteed you made $100. It was they paid you $100 extra. Yeah, big difference, huge difference. Anyway, point being, you don't have all of that now. But if you're not working on something else now, they say, well, Vinny, you haven't made any money today. You didn't make a trade today. Market's only been open an hour. How many times have you sat in that car for an hour waiting on a ride, waiting on a delivery, waiting on something to meet your standards of what you think is worth driving for. Shit ton. All y'all, you're lying if you say you don't do it. You're full of shit. Because you all do it. I do it. I have gone to the airport, got suckered into that airport, waited 2.5 hours just to take a $25 ride out of it. Just take $25 ride out of it. And then you feel good about yourself. Oh, well, man, I made $25 for 20 minutes. I'm doing great hourly. Bullshit. That 2.5 hours on $25 has paid you $9 an hour. Who you bullshitting? People are full of shit. That's why I say you got to be careful on YouTube, man. Because the one thing I will give that is absolutely true, but they don't tell you the whole story. Position, patience. Listen, patience costs time. And a lot of times it costs you money on a low return investment. You understand what I'm saying? If I invest 5 cents or 10 cents, no, that's too cheap. If I invest $1 and it takes 10 years for that dollar to double, is that a good investment? Let me know. If it takes 5 years for that dollar to double, is that a good investment? Yes or no? I want to know if that's a good investment. I dare anybody to tell me with a straight fucking face that waiting for a dollar to double over 5 years is a good investment. I dare anybody to tell me that. So you can position yourself all you want. You can be as patient as all you want. But when you got pressure to make money on top of you, that shit gets emotional. That shit gets emotional. So instead of saying position, patience, whatever, right? It should be, oh no, if you're wasting too much time, work on something else. Figure out something else. If it's not paying you what it's reasonable, then you got to go on to something else. So for an hour here, we haven't taken a trade. Not one. Nope. We've watched the market. It's doing exactly what we thought it was going to do. Right? But according to my strategy, the 15-minute orb, the trade never presented itself. It never presented itself because it broke and closed here, but because of this overhead pressure, snapped right back down. And now we're chopping. Now you say, well, Vinny, it's not chopping. Yeah, it is. Wick. Good candle to trade. Decent candle to trade with the wick. Snap right back off that 25,000. Wick. Right? You can't trade that. Now, you move over to the 15-minute time frame. Well, now you might be able to trade it. Right? You might be able to trade the 15-minute time frame, but you would have still got wicked out. You'd have already lost this trade because of this overhead pressure. So you got to look at the bigger picture, man. And that's what people aren't doing in rideshare and in gig work. You can go work your happy ass all you want for 12, 14 hours a day doing gig work. You know what you're going to have in 10 years? More fucking gig work. You got nothing established. I'm 57 years old. I know I look good for my age. I appreciate it. But I'm already on borrowed time. Those that know that, if you know, I'm already on borrowed time. God has already blessed me more than I can ever repay him. 100%. What do I mean by that? If you know, you know. Because I shouldn't be sitting here right now. And that's not just one time, 2.5, 3 years ago. Fuck no. That just crushed me 2.5 years ago. Crushed me financially. Crushed me. Still ain't recovered, but I'm getting there. But anyway, the point being is, here we go. Again, I got to show you, right? Slapping you back down right here. Wick. How do you trade this? I can't trade this. There are plenty of people out there that can trade it. I can't trade it. Nope. I wouldn't even bother to try. Commuter Branch says patience costs pounds. 100% in the gig space, patience costs pounds. But let me ask you a question. Would you rather spend an hour sitting in your car waiting on something? Or would you rather spend that hour learning something? Now, The two are not exclusive of each other, right? Because some of us, while we're waiting for a ride or an order to come through or something good to come through, we've got YouTube open, we've got Gemini or Grok open, and we're learning shit. We're working on shit, right? And so the waste of time, the time might not equate to money right now, but down the line, if you're doing it right, it'll start teaching and it'll start paying itself off. And that's why last week you guys didn't see me personally, because trading in the morning, midday, I'm doing reviews. Afternoon, I'm driving. I drive 7 days a week, 7 goddamn days a week, because I got to have that now money while I'm learning to make this future money. This is an investment. This is a job. Trading is boring. Just saying. It's not exciting like they make it out to be. And maybe 5%, maybe 5% of the people you see on YouTube are actually making a living at trading. Because most of them, traders, same thing with gig tubers. Listen, it's like they say, if you got the secret sauce, are you going to tell anybody? Or are you going to keep that shit to yourself? If you truly got the secret sauce, are you going to tell anybody? Or are you going to keep it to yourself? Be honest. Why would you want to come on YouTube and tell everybody your secret sauce that's making you millions and millions of dollars? Why would you do that? I get yelled at because my Uncle Richie likes to say, Vinny, you need to shut up where you work. To a point. But the other guys piss me off enough. Not Uncle Richie. Uncle Richie's my guy. But other people, you know, they like to put you out on blast. And so, you know, I take my revenge. I put their areas out on blast. But the point is, if you knew the secret, you wouldn't be sharing it. You wouldn't be sharing. How many traders on YouTube have been slapped around and exposed for lying about trading evals, this, that, and the other? I told you guys, I showed you guys. This is an eval. But I'm learning to trade correctly for the least amount of money possible with unlimited upside. That's what people don't understand about prop firms. Not everybody can take $200, $500, $1,000, $5,000. I've heard people say that. Well, yeah, just take $1,000, put it. Motherfucker, I'm a gig worker. I do rideshare. Are you kidding me? 99% of all rides are comfort or X rides. Do you think drivers got $1,000 to just go stick in a fucking account? Shit. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Of those 99% of drivers out there or gig workers out there, they ain't got $1,000 to put out there to sit there and try to learn with. But you know what they might have? They might have $50. They might have $100. It might take them a month to save that $100, and that's fine. That's good. That's progress. And they can invest that not into the prop space, not into the prop firm, but into themselves, as long as they're going to put in the time to do what they got to do and learn. What's the old cliche? If I could tell my young self 3 words, those 3 words, learn to trade. If I could tell my young self when I was in high school and they were teaching us about computers and we were MS-DOS, and in 10th grade, computer science, this is 1984, y'all. 1984, 10th grade. And they were teaching us how to MS-DOS. The whole 9-week period was about making a butterfly, a stick butterfly, do this across the screen. That was the whole class, bro. So if my current self could tell my younger self then, 3 words, learn to trade. And side note, buy Apple. That'd be it. Even though Apple's a trash shit company now, the amount of money you could have made investing in Apple in 1984 or Microsoft in 1984, Jesus Christ. That's what I would tell my younger self. Learn to trade. Learn to trade. And let me tell you, trading the markets, so many parallels to just living life. Teaches you patience, where patience is deserved, right? Y'all ever heard the cliche, earn, not given? I'm earning my patience. It's not given to me. I'm earning it. I had to do a ton of shit to be able to give up my mornings, a lot of fucking rides to be able to give up my mornings, to be able to sit here and do this right now and try to help you guys or express to you guys why I do what I do. So anyway, well, we're kind of scrunched in here right now, right? It's holding up above the trend line. So this might not be legitimate. Okay. So let's see what happens here. Anyway, slow money for the long-term gain. Slow money is good. There's nothing wrong with slow money. But if it's going to take 5 years to double up a dollar, that's not slow money. That's dead money. Big difference. Big difference there. I'm learning Spanish with Grok when I'm in between jobs in the car. Private work is 7 to 9:15 and 2 to 3:30. In between is Uber, lunch with friends, or a Spanish lesson with Grok. Or get some sleep. Exactly. Exactly. You're building that triple-headed snake, that three-headed threat. You got to build that. That has to be the goal. Has to be the goal. Whether it's rideshare is not a future. It's a present. It's not a future. But I digress. I digress. Now, maybe this afternoon, maybe I'll go live on the Tesla rideshare. Matter of fact, I will go live on Tesla rideshare later on this afternoon. When I get out and start working. What time is it? It's 10:45. We got about another 15 minutes. I'll sit here. Actually, oh man. Anyway, I don't see anything to trade today. So we missed the move? Nope. We just didn't trust the move. That was it. Look at that. Look at that. How many people got stopped out here? And now it's trying to get back up. A lot of people don't have the patience to sit in this kind of drawdown and lose $190. Or if they make a run all the way to the bottom, right? If they go, because this is the other way people trade the orb too. Like I said, that's a $300 move from top to bottom. Would they be willing to sit through $190 worth of drawdown if they're playing the full orb to make the money? When you have to trade every day, you have to trade within the day. You can't carry these contracts over to the next day. Not me, brother. Not me. Anyway, we are going to shut this one down, guys. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. We have 4 viewers in here today, 16 views. Hey, we got to start somewhere, y'all. Got to start somewhere, y'all, and I appreciate it. Trying to keep up with Accounting Tom. Y'all make sure y'all check out Accounting Tom. He goes live. He does ride-alongs every morning. I catch him. I catch him. Even if I don't say anything, I catch him. I got 1 or 2 items I'm going to review. Actually, I got to organize. I might not do any reviews today because all of this stuff just came in. So I got to get all this organized and structured out. I do have my other channel, Buy or Bust Product Reviews, where I put up all my reviews there. Link down below for the Amazon store. I do earn a small commission there. And so, you know, maybe you need something from Amazon. I like Amazon. I'll tell you what. I was real skeptical in the beginning about buying from Amazon. We're talking 4, 5, 6 years ago. I was always skeptical about buying from Amazon. But what's happened is it's like what's going to happen with autonomous vehicles. It's going to happen. The shit is inevitable. As Thanos said, it is inevitable. When the Model T came off the line and they were ready to kill Henry Ford, the blacksmiths, all the blacksmiths were like, damn it, he's taking our jobs. I'm not going to be able to make more horseshoes. Instead of saying and looking at that Model T coming off the line, what kind of parts is that thing going to need when it breaks down? If it gets into an accident, catches a flat tire and blows a rim out. Oh, you know what? Let me start learning how to make body panels. Let me start learning how to make rims. You understand what I'm saying? Autonomous vehicles. And we'll talk about this later too. The shit is inevitable, y'all. It's inevitable. It's here. Even with all the screw ups with Waymo, it's inevitable. Right? I ain't seen nobody pull these Waymos off the street yet. They're going down the wrong way. Hell, one of them killed a little girl. Rightfully or wrongfully, whether you were to blame Waymo or not, that's your choice. Parents should have been holding on to that damn kid too. But that's regardless. You got 18,000 cameras around that car plus LiDAR. I'm just saying, Waymo, you should have. I'm just saying. Robo taxis are rolling. They're rolling in Austin, rolling in San Francisco. They're coming. The shit is inevitable. So instead of sitting there looking at like, oh, these goddamn cars are going to take our jobs and blah, 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 blah. Well, y'all, if you're doing Uber or Lyft, you took the taxi job. Now the taxi drivers are looking at us like, ah, ha, ha, ha. But you know what? They're still driving the taxi. So they didn't learn their fucking lesson either. Y'all better learn to do something else. Pay your dues now. Pay your tuition now. That's what I'm doing, paying tuition. Actually, this is starting to look like how yesterday played out. Look at this from yesterday. Yesterday was the same way. See, yesterday was the same way. See this? Let me show you something from yesterday. So, first candle, second candle, third candle. So here's the orb from yesterday in this box. Here's the midline from yesterday in this box. So the candle close would have been right here, right? Midline would have been right here. Call it right there. 1 to 1. Let me redo this, sorry. So that would have been the price point. That would have been that, there to there. There's a 1 to 1. Same thing happened yesterday. You take the trade, right? Your loss would have been at 66 points. So $132, $133 on the loss, right? $133 on the loss. More than likely, right? You wouldn't even have got halfway up. I don't even think you would have gotten halfway up on that. Even if you were trying to get a half a point out of it. So that's 66, 33. Yeah, see, look, you wouldn't even hit 33. You wouldn't even got a half a point out of yesterday. Before it chased you right back down, snapped you out. Even if you took the whole orb trade, right? So if it was 132, 260. Even if you would have took the whole orb trade yesterday, you'd have got stopped out. And then back up again. And it's just sitting there. You see what it's doing here, guys? Ladies? It's just ranging. This is a range. This was in the afternoon. About 3 o'clock. I don't know what the hell happened at 3 o'clock. I don't give a shit. I wasn't there. So we come back over here. Look, we're doing the same shit again. Same shit again. This is broken. We don't need that anymore. But it never fully broke out for the bear flag there, or the bull flag. Here you go, 15 minutes. There's the orb, right? Again, same thing. Same thing. Not all trades are good trades, bro. Some days, not trading is better than trading. Some days no trade is better than any trade. I'm just saying. Because you're still not here at a 1-to-1. You got wicked out already. Tomorrow's Fed rate decision. You got stuff going on there. And so with that, we're going to wrap it up. No trade for today. But you know what we didn't do? We didn't lose any money. So when we go back and we look, when I come back Thursday, I'll come back Thursday morning for this, as long as I can wake up off the Wednesday night podcast. I'll come back Thursday morning. We'll do it again. And you'll see if I took a trade tomorrow or if I see something in the afternoon, which I probably won't. And we'll do it all over again. And, you know, no trade means I didn't lose money. Did not lose money. But I was here for it with the opportunity to try to make money. That's it. End of discussion. All right, y'all. Let me see how I'm supposed to do this. Hold on. Boom! And we are done. Okay. I hope everybody has a great morning. I hope you learned something. If you didn't, let me know in the comments. Go have sex with myself. I can do that too, I guess. And we will see you tomorrow night on the Off the Clock podcast, 9 p.m. And yeah, how do I stop this? How do I stop?